How do we know that our belief is different from everybody else's? Well, you remember from last week we talked about the issue of history and how important the historicity issue is. That if you question a document's historicity, you question its authenticity and ultimately its authority. This week we want to talk about the difference that Jesus makes. So the second big difference that we suggest here, first being history, second being Jesus, what do people say about Jesus? Who do they think he is? And I thought my approach this particular week would be about the claims of certain people that we actually see in Scripture. And I wanted to start with an unbeliever, a person who did not believe. And I'm going to suggest the centurion to us. The idea of the centurion is important because here you have a battle-hardened man, a Roman soldier who had been around a lot of executions. He'd seen a lot of death. He had probably put a number of men to death themselves and himself. And what this suggests to us, of course, is that he is somebody who has been there and done that. He's seen a lot of this. But what happens when he sees Jesus die on the cross? He says, in his words, truly, this man was the Son of God. Really interesting. Go back to the PDF and check out all of the passages, one of which is Matthew chapter 27, an important passage which actually talks about the resurrection of bodies out of tombs. If you want to talk about zombies, check out Matthew chapter 27, but on that some other time. Here you had this Roman soldier who had sworn allegiance to his emperor. And what's fascinating about this is that at that time, in those days, the emperor, the Roman emperor, was referred to as the Son of God. So when the Roman soldier gave allegiance to the emperor, which he had to do it to the Son of God. Now, when the centurion then says, when Jesus dies, truly this man is the Son of God, he is changing allegiances. And I'm suggesting to us that his claim about Jesus is so impactful that he changes from an unbeliever to a believer. Notice that this is the first human use of this term in the Mark passage, Mark chapter 15. Interesting, because if that's the very first usage of Son of God from a human person, who better to have said it than the centurion? This is a reference to God's ancient promise to David in 2 Samuel chapter 7 and verse 14, where God says that he is sending somebody who will be to me as a son, the Son of God. So here you have an unbelieving person who says about Jesus that truly this is the Son of God, a reference to the ancient concept, the covenant that God established through his people Israel about David the king. And here this is being said about Jesus. A crucial and important idea. What sets us apart as Christians from other beliefs, other views? How we talk about Jesus and what we say about him. So how do you evaluate other perspectives? What do they think about? And how do they speak about? And who do they define as Jesus? That's going to be a telling idea. First claim, the claim of a centurion and an unbeliever who became a believer.